Buongiorno amici Passion for Fun, oggi siamo con il mitico Marcos Martín, illustratore spagnolo e vincitore di Eisner Award e insignito in questa 30ª edizione del Romics con Romics d'oro. Marcos ha collaborato sia con Marvel sulla serie di Amazing Spider-Man e Daredevil che con DC Comics con Batman Chronicles e Batgirl Year One. Marcos, hai ottenuto una nomination agli Eisner Awards nel 2006 per The Amazing Spider-Man e successivamente nel 2011 hai vinto l'ambito premio per il Daredevil. Puoi parlarci di questi tuoi lavori in Marvel?
I was in Marvel for 5 years, from 2006 to 2011, and I basically I started with the Doctor Strange miniseries that I did with Brian K. Vaughan, who's a friend of mine, and we decided to do something together. So we pitched the idea to Marvel. They liked it, and we did that short miniseries, which was my entry into the Marvel comics. And then from then they moved me to Amazing Spider-Man. At first I was only supposed to do 2 issues, a small, very short story arc. But then first it expanded to another issue, and then they decided to keep me on the series for almost what ended being 3 years, I think, and it was a lot of fun. It was great fun working on Spider-Man, which is a character that I've always loved, and afterwards, at one point, the schedule and the deadlines were a little bit too much for me, and before leaving Marvel, which I had already decided to do, I did one final stint in Daredevil, which ended up being quite popular.
Which do you prefer between Daredevil and Spider-Man?
I prefer Spider-Man, and I prefer my work on Spider-Man than my work on Daredevil. But Daredevil has my favorite superhero story of all time, which is Born Again, and my favorite artist, which is David Mazzucchelli.
So you will watch the new series?
I'll probably watch it, yes. I watch all the Marvel series.
Ok. Come è stato collaborare anche con la DC per The Batman Chronicles and Batgirl Year One?
Yes. The Batman Chronicles was just a little bit short. Batman Chronicles was my first work actually in the U.S. market, and but that was horrible. That didn't go well at all. It was so horrible that it took me one whole year, more than a year, to get another job at DC. And then after that, so it was a long time. It was a long period of time between the Batman Chronicles and Batgirl Year One. It was like 3 years. And Batgirl Year One was my first big project on DC. It was the one that finally gave me the opportunity to work for a long time on a single project, and fortunately it turned out really well. People liked it, and it allowed me to get more work.
To continue
working on comics.
Come ti è venuta l'idea della piattaforma digitale di webcomics Panel Syndicate?
Well, it came, I had been thinking about it for years, basically because I was thinking about the distribution model in the US, how it works, and really wasn't satisfying to me. So I decided that we needed to do something a little bit different in order to attract new readers, see if we could reach a wider audience. And so I thought that probably the best way to do that would be through the internet, because it allows us to reach a really wide audience, potential the whole world potentially, and different kinds of people, and so slowly I came up with the idea. I came up with the idea of it being pay what you want. Because it's really it's absurd to put a price on things on the internet. It's very difficult for people to try new things if you put on a price tag. So we decided to make it pay what you want. So you can essentially download the comics for free if you want to. But that's something that's going to happen anyway, because the piracy, I mean, they get all the comics immediately, so it's useless trying to compete with that. So, and finally, what was missing though, although I had the idea, I knew that I couldn't do it alone. I didn't have enough of a name to carry such a strange project, and it would just be another internet thing that would be lost. So, and that's when Brian appeared and with the idea of doing the private eye, and which was coincidentally, it was about a world without the internet. So it was kind of a serendipity, and he pitched me the idea for the private eye, which he was thinking of doing with Image Comics as a series there. And I said, sure, I loved it, but why not try something different? And so I pitched him my idea for Panel Syndicate, and he's as crazy as I am, so he decided that it would be a good idea, and we went on with that.
Appunto per questo, parlaci della serie The Private Eye, di cui sei co-creatore con Brian Vaughan e per cui hai vinto un Eisner Award e un Harvey Award nel 2015.
Yes, this was it was Brian's idea, and he was at the time working on TV. He had been working on Lost, but he was tired of that, and he wanted to come back to comics. So he called me and said, listen, I have an idea for a series that I would love for you to draw. And this was just exactly the time where I had decided that I was leaving Spider-Man. I had actually already left Spider-Man, and I had decided I was leaving Marvel. So I said, sure, let's do it. And the idea was great, I loved it. And he also told me I have another idea for another comic book called Saga, but I think you're better for the private eye. So there went my millions of dollars went with. But so we went ahead with the private eye, and it's a great concept of a world where basically the internet has disappeared because of a massive leak of information at one point that we never explained. But we are already in that future without the internet, and where everybody basically has a secret identity. So everyone walks around with masks, and it's that's visually it's great fun. It was great fun to come up with all the different costumes and masks. It was also a pain in the neck sometimes, but it was. It was, I think it was a great idea, a great concept, and the fact that we put it out through the internet and talking about a world without the internet, I think made the project even more unique.
Globalizing the world. So che ti stai dedicando al genere noir. Hai realizzato cover e copertina per Friday, edito da Salda Press ed in vendita oggi in anteprima qua a Romics. Parlaci appunto del tuo coinvolgimento.
Friday is a project that I'm doing for Panel Syndicate, so we're also distributing it through the internet, and it came about as I was looking for a new project because Brian was again moving on to back to TV and movie work, and so I decided to write to Ed Brubaker, who I've known for a while, and ask him if he would be interested in doing a project with me for Panel Syndicate. And he said sure, and immediately came up with the idea for Friday, which is kind of like his version of those old 70s stories of young kids solving crimes and mysteries. And it's kind of like Ed Brubaker's vision of Scooby-Doo.
Okay.
So it's kind of dark, but it also has that kind of young adult approach. It's great fun to draw. It's exactly what I wanted, what I needed at the time. Stylistically, it offered me a chance to try a slightly different approach to the work, and it's still going on. I'm still working on it. We're already on chapter 7, but the first 3 chapters just came out in Italian through Salda Press, and I hope people will like it.
I think it will be a great work. A cosa stai lavorando? Parlaci dei tuoi lavori in corso di pubblicazione.
I'm right now still working on Friday, because it's at least it's going to be 3 books. So and each book has 3 chapters. We release the chapters digitally through Panel Syndicate, and then we put them together in one book. So it's 3 different books through Image Comics first in English. I'm hoping they will come out through Salda Press in Italian. But that's all I'm doing right now, except the occasional cover here and there for Marvel, or I've done some covers also for Image Comics. But basically Marvel is the. But I'm very slow, so it takes me a long time to draw, and I have very little time to do other things besides just Friday. So that's basically my project right now.
I would like to see you drawing Spawn.
Spawn! That hasn't happened yet. No, they haven't offered me Spawn.
Hey Todd.
Todd, yeah, exactly.
Ok, thank you for accepting our invitation, Marcos. Ringraziamo Marcos per la sua grande disponibilità e ci vediamo alla prossima intervista. Grazie mille. Muchas gracias.
Grazie. Greetings to Passion for Fun. Grazie mille.